Are you ready? Just a regular. John, you guys do you want to? No, that's all right.
Is it on?
I think I'm loud enough.
I got everything on.
Is it on the bottom? In the back?
Well, there's.
Oh.
Okay, we're good.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're done. Thank you. All right, good morning. It's 9 o'clock, September 11, 2023, and our regular Commissioners Court meeting is now in session. First item on the agenda is roll call by our County Clerk, Mary Jane Rabial-Benoan.
Good morning, Judge. Commissioners.
Good morning.
Judge Rathmel,
Present.
Commissioner Mendoza,
Present.
Commissioner Morales, Commissioner Solis,
Present.
Commissioner Garza.
Present.
We have a quorum, Judge.
Thank you, Mary Jane. Will everyone please rise for a moment of silence to honor the victims lost on the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks on the United States, which is 22 years to the date. And please join us for a moment of silence. Thank you. Our Dr. Miller will now lead us in the invocation. Dr. Miller, good to see you, sir.
It's good to be back. If you bow your heads with me, if you would, this morning. Our Father who provides rest, we come into your presence this day seeking your hand of guidance in the ever-changing atmosphere of our lives. We remember the events that shook our nation 22 years ago today, which forever changed us. But help us this day to see the decisions made today in this court will affect our todays and our tomorrows as well. So, Father, we need your voice to be heard by our leaders. May you speak today to our leaders as you spoke to Elijah, gently and quietly in the wind, and not in the earthquake and fire. May our leaders be receptive to your voice this day as they seek to serve this community. May wisdom be granted to them, may patience be theirs, and may peace come from their efforts to honor you. And we thank you for your hand, which both leads and protects. And in Christ's name we humbly ask these things. Amen.
Amen. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 4, communications, commissioners. Anything to share with the public, the court today?
Judge, are we doing the second budget hearing?
The what?
The second budget hearing?
Yes, but that hearing, it's not on my agenda.
Yeah.
It was a separate.
Yeah.
It was a separate
It
one
was
here.
a separate agenda.
There you go. It's all of this, it's right now it's actually the Commissioners Court budget hearing.
Okay.
And the agenda just says that, and then at 9:15, the regular session starts.
So, okay, this will allow any department heads to, all right, I'll open the budget, the second budget hearing on our 2023-2024 proposed budget to commence. I think on the initial budget hearing, we did have some requests that were not in the proposed budget, and I guess this allows a second opportunity to present any additional requests. So there have been some requests since then. Of course, we have an action item in the Commissioners Court meeting, and some of those requests, I was just gonna include those requests as we vote for them. But so it basically handles as a second public hearing. But this allows the public to comment on a proposed budget. As we went over last hearing, our tax rate is remaining the same. We are not seeing an increase in our tax rate. Spending is increasing. We included some cost of living adjustments to our employees and some capital outlay improvements that will add some extra funding in our proposed budget. We did manage to bring our budget deficit down somewhat. We have been covering our budget deficits with a healthy fund balance, but our fund balance does continue to decline, and move slowly on the downward spiral, that we need to be careful how we move forward. But I think overall, the budget, things look better for the county as we move forward. But the floor is open, I guess. Did anybody sign up?
Judge, I just want to have one request for, Fernando Munoz, JP Munoz.
Okay.
We discussed in the last, Commissioner's Court meeting about, monies for his, copier from, Technology Fund.
Okay.
Technology Fund's, running low, so, I would like to request, $3,000 out of, line item 10-455-43443, which is precinct 3 JP Rentals, with a budget of $3,000, should cover his copier, expenses. Which I can.
So that'll be an additional cost, or can you use the same amount that is in there?
No, this would be an additional cost.
There's no money budgeted for that in this budget?
He was wanting to take it out of technology fund, so that didn't make me need to believe that he didn't have any funds in there for.
And that's for a copier?
Yes. Which is used by, does JP,
Two.
Green, use that copier also? Y'all use it? No? Okay. It's just precinct 3.
Yeah, we'll add that on. That seems like a lot for the copier.
It was gonna be, I looked at their lease, it was gonna be $200, $500, $515 quarterly, and then they get charged another $70-some monthly for extra copies. But yeah, it did seem.
So that'll be an additional 3,000. I guess you're writing that down?
Yes.
Okay, good. I see the sheriff. Sheriff, I know we've been, yeah, you can come forward, Sheriff. We've been, of course, Senate Bill 22, which the state approved into law, which allows law enforcement officers and detention officers a healthy pay increase. And so Zapata County, for our population, we were eligible for $350,000 for law enforcement.
Morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioner.
For our sheriff department, and $175,000 for our county attorney. County attorney has,
This is a breakup of
Okay.
the preliminary numbers that uses up the 350 that was allocated for our office. And there's, I believe, a few dollars left, Judge, after all the adjustment. That's for everybody that's entitled for the SB 22.
yeah, but you've got some officers here that are earning above the 45 already.
Yes, that's because of the adjustment for the seniority and the brass, the supervisors.
Yeah.
Because I asked that question as well, Judge, and they said that we needed to adjust it accordingly or provide certificate pay.
That doesn't include,
The jailers are in the back seat.
yes, but it doesn't include the fringe benefits.
No, this is just the numbers.
Yeah, but the fringe will contribute a considerable amount to
So-
what you're proposing.
That's what I'm just, and then we'll work our way backwards because getting on the fringe benefits and stuff with them.
Yeah, what we had discussed, and with you in the past, was we had 14 patrol deputies, because mainly this is for patrol deputies, officers who spend most of their time, this is what the grant entails. So we have 14 patrol deputies that were under the $45,000 threshold.
Yes.
And that, to bring them up to the 45,000, including the fringe, would cost $120,991 out of the 350. And then we had 33 detention officers earning on an average 28,000. So we couldn't, and of course, the statute said they should come up to 40,
You're right.
40,000 as a minimum. But that would certainly go above the 350,000 total. So we did speak with the controller, and they did suggest, or, I mean, it wasn't a definite yes, but they said more than likely, very probable that we could prorate the remaining amount of the $350,000 and bring those detention officers on a prorated level to get them as close to 40,000 as we could. So that is what we're working on. It didn't say anything about upper brass, sure.
Yeah, but all the.
But they're already over the 45,000.
I understand, but you can't have a sergeant getting the same pay as a regular deputy.
They're not,
Because then
they're
we have
earning
to-
more. You have,
Cause then we have to make adjustments and ask from the general budget salary.
yeah,
Your sergeants currently are 42,238.
Yes.
42.
So the way it is set up here, Judge, is utilizing the whole 350 without touching the general budget.
Not including the fringe benefits.
I don't see
Not
anything.
including, not including the fringe benefits, yes, because those are numbers that I was gonna
So,
meet with Nelly.
so when you, of course, our personnel director, I asked you to look into
Okay.
patrol officers that were earning under 45,000. You didn't include some of the sergeants?
No, no, I
Because
just,
they don't patrol or what?
I just included, the ones that we needed to bring up to the threshold, the 45,
Good.
the deputies.
But some of those, so we have here sergeants under 45,000. So I think those would qualify as patrol deputies. I mean.
And then,
Investigators.
the investigators also do patrol.
Well, there's one investigator that is under 45. The rest are pretty substantially over. So I would agree that we should include, those sergeants, which do have patrol duties from time to time, to reach the 45,000 threshold. And, but those that are earning over 45, Sheriff, I think you should allocate those monies to the detention officers who are earning way below.
Right.
And you're taking some of their monies and giving them to your higher paid brass.
I just don't wanna touch the general budget, but if.
I know, but you're taking money from your detention officers to pay your higher brass that is already earning over 45,000.
I understand that, so then I would have to come back and ask for a certificate pay for the upper deputies. I wouldn't have an administration, everybody's gonna be a deputy.
Well, good. I think we get more patrol deputies out on patrolling.
Everybody patrols, Judge.
Yes. Look, we've been going back and forth with it, with you, Sheriff, on this. My
I'm trying my
suggestion.
best, Judge,
Yeah.
I'm trying my best, sir, and what
I
I'm trying to
think we
do
should
is.
try to help our detention officers who are very severely underpaid and get all the patrol deputies, including the sergeants, to their base pay of 45. I think that's how we should use the money.
Cause we are short 200,000.
Right, but no, we wouldn't be short 200,000 if we address the detention officers on a prorated level and then adjust the deputies, including the sergeants, which will add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll add, so instead of 14, we'll have 22, and of course, not all of them will be $6,000. And we can get them up to 45.
Unless the county commissioners court, I would have to come back and ask for money for my supervisors from the general budget. But I understand where you're coming from, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
But we were short when they did this mandate, because of significantly low paying job of the jailers at 24.
Yeah, we're at 28, they should be at 40, so I really wanted to address the jailers, and of course, the patrol deputies who, I didn't know who the patrol deputies were, but I received a number of 14, and not visiting with you, said, yeah, those 14 would qualify.
Yes,
So-
and they're right there.
But you're right to bring in, some of your sergeants in to kick them up to 45, but to kick them up to 49, 50,000, I think you're taking money from the detention officers. Now, if you wanna bring them up to 46, it'll be $1,000 over the patrol deputies.
Well, let me.
I don't think that's enough of an incentive for them to take on that
No,
responsibility.
what's gonna happen is we're gonna lose all our grass.
Well, they were working for 42, Commissioner.
I understand that, Judge, but this is his department, he should be able to make these decisions within his department.
Yes, we're trying to make the decisions.
It's not your decision, it's his decision, he's the elected official.
Well, yes, well, the court makes the decision, Commissioner, certainly you have
It's
your
his
right to
department.
vote on it. What we have been going back and forth is, in fact, we talked about it yesterday, and the sheriff said, yes, what we've discussed is an agreement. But today he shows up with something else, you know, and
So
so.
we did discuss the 14, and I
Yeah.
said there was gonna be an additional adjustment, so everything is used for the 350,000.
Right.
I wasn't gonna touch the general budget, Judge.
Yeah.
It's not my intention. Is that I also called the comptrollers and they said, work the numbers with your local government and local leaders and see if it's accepted.
I just think
Then we
we're gonna leave the
send them some
detention
information.
officers way below what they should. They should have been around the $36,000 mark, on their way to 40,000, but we're gonna leave them at 33.
I can adjust it and put it at 40, and then I'll come back and ask for the remaining from the general fund.
Well, we'll continue working on, I think overall it's a good thing. I mean, that we're, wanting to get our
It's
deputies.
just that,
Yeah.
I don't believe that they knew how low the jailers were paid.
I know.
Here in Zapata County.
They are, and I think we talked about trying to bring them up, as close to 40 as we could, so, but I understand your sergeants are below the 45, so
If you give me
I
a-
think they should be included to bring them up, and
Yeah, we also have the investigators under the 45.
there's one.
No, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 investigators. It'll be all in the lieutenant.
But they're already earning 46,
They're
47.
at 43, 43.
Yeah, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eight sergeants and one investigator that would come up to 45 and then 40.
Which is about $18,000.
Yeah, but they would
Without
have-
the fringe benefits.
But they have different duties from patrol, so there's gotta be a separation.
Is that,
from patrol.
the grant said patrol, that's where the grant, the language on it, Counselor said patrol deputies. So that was what we were,
Targeting?
yes.
Well, let me run the numbers again and let me place a call to the
Okay.
comptroller's office.
Okay, and then,
Yeah,
we're
I
we're
come
certainly
back.
gonna move forward with it.
Mhm.
And we, speaking with the comptroller, of course, the funding won't be in place, until January 1st of '24. I was hopeful that the court would approve moving forward, get them on, start of our fiscal year in October and start going from there. And then get the reimbursement, back in January for those. Of course, our county attorney, you turned in your budget, you decided what you, want to do with it. And Sheriff, yes, you have leeway as to how you're gonna proceed, but certainly those were not in our discussions, and we've had several,
Yes.
and.
But we
The
all.
emphasis, between our discussions was to get, the detention officers as high as possible as we could. And now it seems like they're gonna be taking a hit, for the brass.
Well, I was just doing it so the general budget
Yeah.
wouldn't take a hit, because they're very understanding people, and I knew that, we were gonna work towards making this possible. But let me run those numbers again, and Judge, all the deputies there, including myself, we're deputies, and we patrol, we do traffic stops. So everybody's.
Exactly.
I mean-
But it was those that were under the 45.
Right.
Sheriff. So we have, 14 plus 8, we have 22 deputies that are under the 45,000, that they should come up to the 45. I think that should be our priority.
Let me pick up those papers back,
Alright.
So regardless, Nelly, if we approve it this way or make changes to it, we still have to calculate the fringe benefits, because that's gonna be extra on top of what ESP.
Yeah.
Correct.
bills.
I think that should-
Thank you.
It'll be 22.
I'll get that, sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that we're forgetting? Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
Okay, I wanted to come back and correct, the line item for my equipment and maintenance. I had requested 29,000 originally, and then I asked for 5,000 more. So it's gonna be a total of 34,125. I think you had put on there 30,000.
Sorry, what was the number now?
34,125.
And that's for repairs and maintenance?
Yes. Equipment maintenance.
So then it'll be an increase of 9,125.
Yes.
So you have one already from 25 to 30, so you need,
I needed, 3,000 more, so it's gonna be from 25 to 34.
to 34.
34,125.
Yeah, so that's the contract that you have with
Yes.
the vendor.
Yes.
Yes.
I had originally put
Yes,
it on there,
that's-
but,
That's fine.
there was an oversight.
With the total impact of 9,125 increase.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Judge, we need to add a repairs and maintenance line item for adult probation.
Okay.
We'd like to remove $300 from fuel and lubricants and move that into the new repairs and maintenance. There'll be no impact.
You have it here, right?
Yes, it's already on there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And also to the county attorney, we'd like to increase the general supplies by $2,000 and reduce repairs and maintenance by $2,000.
So yeah, there's no,
So it's a no
No
change.
increase. There's no difference,
do we have anything else, Marcy, that we might be missing?
We went ahead and we re-added to the capital outlay several items,
Yeah, those are already for consideration.
they're on it.
The van for the sheriff's office and the truck lease payments, which are, I guess, ongoing payments that we've had, so.
And lastly, there was a typo in the environmental for the salary for the department head. He has multiple, he's the head of multiple departments and he already received a $1,000 increase somewhere else.
Okay. So all of these are already listed for the
Yes.
courts to consider, once we get to that agenda item. Well, other than, I guess, of course, the plan is to propose, to approve the proposed budget on the 25th. I guess the sheriff can bring in his revised figures then for the court to consider, or?
Well, that's prior to the final adoption.
We give it to him.
We certainly want to move forward with it.
So it's, today, is there any other changes that are gonna be made to the proposed budget?
We are, some that were, I guess, proposed in the first hearing.
Okay.
Some changes. The court will be approving or denying those requests.
I see.
So we wanted to give, of course, staff time to put it all together and then have a final version for the court to vote on.
I see.
On the
And
25th.
on the 25th.
So that possibly could still move forward with the sheriff bringing it in, let's say tomorrow, he brings in the figures, we can.
Add it in for discussion.
For discussion, and then on the final version. Okay, we'll have time for that, and certainly, we'll look forward to doing that. Is there anybody else, any changes?
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Dan.
I just had a one minor adjustment, that's only if the court does, grant that extra position that was asked for in the first budget hearing.
Right.
On the uniforms, we did, increase it from 350 to 500, and that was at 29 slots for a total of 14,500. But just in case that position does get added, it'll be missing those extra 500
I
for
don't
that.
see the uniform change on here.
It is,
On these?
Yeah.
No,
This is a new one that he's requesting.
But he mentioned the uniforms at the first budget hearing. It should have been listed in here.
It just says clothing allowance, right?
it says.
Well, the initial uniforms for,
Initially, it was at 9,750.
Sorry, what was the original amount?
Originally 9,750, but that was before the adjustment.
And it went to 14,500, correct?
Yes, and then it went up to 14,500.
It's on page 24 of the proposed budget. It says,
So it went up to 14.5, yes.
Closing
So now you want another 500?
If that additional,
Position
position that I
is
requested
approved.
is approved, yes,
So,
not of course,
215.
of course, it'll stay at 14.5. I just wanted to point that out.
Okay.
Thank you
I
very much.
did, on your ambulance request, I did visit with, the administrator, Mr. Escher, yesterday,
Yes,
as a matter of
Judge.
fact. And, so I know we've been waiting for more than 2 years on that grant for 2 ambulances.
Yes, sir.
Simply can't get built, I guess. I mentioned to Mr. Escher that you are requesting a smaller ambulance that seemed to be readily available for purchase. So I did ask him if the county could cancel the contract, consider canceling the contract with that vendor and purchase these type of ambulances, to meet our immediate needs and not expend any more, capital outlay from our county. So would that be something that you would be in favor of?
I agree, the only thing is that those units, the number one reason why we do not like them is safety, of course, they are smaller. The box units are much more safer for the patient and the employees in the back. But we do agree, we would make an agreement if that's the case, and we'll help out the county in return as far as.
Well, we just can't get them. I mean, we've been waiting
Yes.
for 2 years, and it
No.
looks like there's an 18-month still waiting.
Mr. Esser called me this morning, and we agreed that we are gonna call Trinity Apparatus and see if we can expedite those frames or whatnot through this other company. But he was gonna look into as far as if we can cancel the contract with Since Martin first. So he was gonna look into that, I was gonna look into Trinity Apparatus as soon as we get out of here and see if we can make a change.
Okay.
18 months is more than enough time to let them know that we're not wanting it.
Definitely. I just don't know how the workings go with the grant as far as canceling the grant, but that's what Mr. Esser's gonna work on and see if that's even possible. And if it is, then I'm gonna work on my end to see if we can get something expedited through Trinity Apparatus. But we won't find that out today, I don't think so.
So today, as your request still stands for an additional ambulance to purchase?
I would suggest, that's up to the court really. I mean, yes, we do need that other ambulance. We do have those other 2 pending through the grant. Those would be much better, of course. The thing is that I don't know the time frame as far as when those other 2, if anything, if we're able to change it.
So
from
have
Since
you had
Martin-
any contact with them at all?
With who?
With the vendor?
As soon as we get, I just.
But before, do you stay on them, do you talk to them, do you question?
With Since Martin?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, yes, every
And
time.
what do they tell you?
They have no answer. Their answer is always, we're still waiting.
Yeah, it seems to be that, I don't think they wanna build them at the price they agreed to. I think that's what it comes down to, is
Exactly.
they're not gonna build them.
And that's what we're trying to do, and see if we can change from Siddons to Trinity Apparatus. But I need to wait on Mr. Esser to give me the okay and see if that's possible. If that's possible, then we'll end up changing to Trinity.
And if not, we'll just purchase the other ones
We just have to continue with them.
and get 3 instead of 2 with, 100% none of our out of pocket expense.
Well,
Right,
it's
so they
two,
would cover
it's 2
the
units.
2
The
units.
grant is 2 units, yes, sir.
Okay.
It's two units. The only thing was, I was requesting for the court if we can allocate our budget for that other unit, the van types that we got last year, because those are readily available.
Yeah.
Just in case these other two
And I
don't
guess
come through this year.
what Commissioner Alonso is saying, that the dollar amount that it's gonna cost for those 2 box ambulances,
You can
we
get
get 3
3
of the
of
van ambulances.
Oh, yes, yes, of course.
And they're available.
More or less, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if exactly the amount of the grant, but more or less in the ballpark figure, yes, 3.
I think that one makes a lot of sense.
It does, Judge.
Well, given the fact we're in a $900,000 deficit, and you wanna add, so we'll definitely jump over the $1 million if we start approving all these requests. That's the bottom line, is what can the county afford, how can we move forward without, putting us in a more precarious position.
Exactly.
So. Okay.
We'll wait on Mr. Esser.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Danny.
Yes, Ms. Patty?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, from last time that I was asking asking to move, 45,000, and I think I recalculated, what my expenses have been done, and I was thinking instead of just moving all the 53,000 down to the accounts, and even just have a million for the.
For LMC, I agree with
LMC.
you. We'll
Yes.
take that into consideration.
Yes.
So basically, our contribution to the 1115 waiver for our vendor, provider, Laredo Medical Center will be $500,000, and then we'll still use that money to care for our indigent, which will be about 50,000, 53,000, I believe.
53,000.
Okay. And we'll,
And then, distribute it up.
all right, we'll consider that, okay.
Thank you
Now, I
very
know
much.
there's a need for extra funds in
Yes.
those two line items that you need.
Yes, I do.
And those are for local matches for drugs and care
In care, yes.
that
And
our
then the
provider cannot access.
Because they don't have the ways, and, because the other programs do not, provide that, so we pick up those times.
Those costs, yes, okay.
So then we would allocate the 447 to indigent and then the 53 for your line items.
No, 500,000 indigent and.
Indigent, 500,000.
Right, it's
and then-
500,000, but you wanna deduct the 53 from those 500,000?
Yes, and,
Right.
and then just, and then
No,
I
the
did
total
it
8%
in counties.
is 553, Commissioner.
Oh, okay.
Yes, thank you.
You bet.
Anything else? Well, just, I guess, have a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make a motion to
Second the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Garza to close the second public hearing on the proposed 2023-2024 Zapata County budget. Seconded by Commissioner Solis, and we'll take all those into consideration in our action item in our regular Commissioners Court meeting. So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The hearing closed. We'll go back to our regular meeting, and we're at the communications section, item number 4. Anything going on of particular interest, Commissioners?
Yes, Judge, I wanna inform the public, we got, the county crew, precinct 3, will start working on, Los Ebanos Road as of today.
Okay.
So there'll be some maintenance there, we're gonna be taking care of that street. We're gonna try to lay out some millings and hopefully improve the condition of that street for the residents around that area. So just be cautious whenever if you drive through there, it'll be Los Ebanos Road.
And move the flagpole.
Yes.
Anything else? We'll move on to public comment. This section provides the public the opportunity to address the Commissioners Court on any item on the agenda. Any members of the public wish to address the court at this time? If not, we'll move on to item number 6.
We have a communication.
Yes.
Communication, sorry, excuse me.
You gotta speak up.
She's
Yes.
sorry.
Ms.
Good
Becky.
morning.
Good morning.
I saw you, but
I was
didn't say.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So if you could go under public comment also.
Okay.
Yes.
We wanted to invite you to put up a booth for our first annual Spectacular Monster Bash Health, Wellness, and Fitness Fair. Any businesses are welcome to come, and I have the 3 things that you all need to bring, either dresses, a Halloween costume, a Halloween t-shirt, bring a door prize, and bring candies for the kids. It's gonna be held on October 4th at the Zapata Community Center from 4 to 6. Everybody's invited.
Okay, so what do you call it again? I didn't.
It's kind of long, sir.
I know I heard bash, so it sounds.
It's our first annual Spectacular Monster Bash, Health, Wellness, and Fitness Fair.
Oh, mash, not
Yeah.
bash.
Yeah,
Bash.
Monster mash, okay.
It's like
It's like a whole.
And this is, of course, being hosted by you at the
at the public
Zapata County Public Library.
Yes,
So
sir.
you're doing a good job there, Becky. Keep
Thank
it up.
you, sir.
Yeah.
Anything to help the community.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Becky.
Item number 6, approval of invoices. In your packets, we had invoices from 8/25/2023 to 9/7/2023 for a total of $628,086.44.
Motion to approve as presented.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza to approve the invoices as presented. Seconded by Commissioner Solis. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is approval of checks.
Treasurer's report.
Okay, we'll move on to the treasurer's report. Mr. Salinas joined us this morning. He provided us with his report. We'll begin on page 1 on investment deposits. We've got a CD total of $7,759,465.62. Interest for the month was $6,915.88, and for the year, we have collected interest of $144,072.97. Just want commissioners to the number has changed dramatically from last month. If you remember, we were close to $11 million in reserve. Of course, we've had, and we've seen the invoices of the expenditures of almost $3 million for the month. A lot of that came from our fund balance. Some of it was for our INS, those payments are due in August, our debt service. But I believe, and I'd like maybe the auditor to help me with this, see if, we're funding quite a few grants currently. I'd like to see exactly what reimbursements have come in from each grant, what's outstanding, how much we've spent, because this figure of $7 million is very concerning as far as our fund balance. We keep spending more than what comes in, and we don't have much time. A lot of this amount is already obligated, so I'd hate to get to a point where we can't pay our bills from month to month. So we need to check to see what's outstanding and what is coming in. And appreciate that by the next Commissioners Court meeting. So we have our demand accounts, judiciary demand accounts on the next page. We had a beginning balance of $2,237,285. We had revenues and deposits of $5,648,975.33. But we had expenses of $5,555,491.66. So we had an ending balance of $2,330,768.67. Of course, the invoices did not reflect the $5 million in expenditures. So I'm assuming, for the treasurer's not here, that most of that was for our debt service. But I think a lot of the grants payments are also included in this. It's not included in the report, but I think we need to make sure exactly where we spent $5 million in 1 month. We'll move on to the energy report. So our electricity use for the month of August was 89,959.54, and our water usage was 9,247.09. We've got our royalties from the several gas wells around town, and for the month of August, the county received royalties of $3,263.34, which is substantially down from the beginning of the fiscal year. Moving on to rents, Financial Civic Center for the month of August, $75 came in. For the year, we're at $3,150. For the Falcon Center, $150 came in. $300 for the year has been collected. The Pavilion, for the month of August, $1,350 for the month of August, and for the year, $8,660 has been collected. Zapata Community Center, for the month of August, $1,950. For the year, $26,350 has come in. Our swimming pool for the month of August was $332, and for the year, we're at $3,554. And the San Ignacio swimming pool for the month of August did not have any revenues, but for the year, $2,294. So the pool was open in August, Commissioner?
No, that was the last of the monies that were brought in.
Okay.
It just came in late.
Late, okay. But
After
it
the
usually
August.
closes in, when does it usually?
We closed it right before school started.
All right, moving on to the other revenue accounts. Our county clerk for the month of August brought in $7,381.25. For the year, she's up to $66,923.08, which is 111% of budgeted revenues. County clerk, Fund 15, for the month of August, $418. For the year, $13,382.10, which is also 121% of budgeted revenues. District clerk, Fund 10, For the month of August, $3,992.70, and for the year, $105,944.05, which is 124% of budgeted revenues. District Clerk, for the month of August, Fund 15, $345 came in. For the year, $11,519.05, which is 119% of the budget, expected budgeted revenues. The ARM ordinance, there was no revenues for the month of August. For the year, $1,226,500 came in permitting fees, which is 100.2% of budgeted revenues. And our sales tax for the month of August, $178,664 came in. And for the year, we're up to $2,300,727.89, which is 109.56% of the expected revenues. We had budgeted an expected revenue of $2.1 million. So overall, I think the county is seeing some economic activity within our community. Landfill, the month of August, $46,950 came in. For the year, $285,706, which is 95.24% of expected revenue collections. The jail, for the month of August, $232,654.21 came in. For the year, we're at $2,815,147.53, which is 117% of expected revenue. So the jail's been doing well. Jail telephone, $5,719.57 for the month of August. For the year, $46,064.68, which is 102% of expected revenue. And then we have the EMS for the month of August, $84,920.03. For the year, we're up to $718,224.64, which is 119.70% of expected revenue. On the last page, we have our JP revenues. For the month of August, JP Precinct 1 brought in $14,402.45. For the year, they're at $87,385. Precinct 2 brought in $9,655.78. They're at, for the year, JP Precinct 2 is at $108,222.89. JP Precinct 3 for the month brought in $1,996. For the year, they're at $23,491.49. And JP Precinct 4 for the month brought in $2,963.57. And for the year, they're at $46,267.22. Motion by Commissioner Solis to approve. Seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 8, approval of checks issued. And we have checks from 8/25, 2023 through 9/7/2023 for a total of $628,086.44. Motion to approve by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 9 is the Tax Assessor Collectors Departmental Report. Ms. Mendoza, good morning.
Okay, collections for the month of August, the general fund, we had a total of $91,490.72. Interest and sinking, we had a collection of $34,997.53. Farm to market, $29.16. Special road and bridge, we had $10,122.74 for a total of $156,723.34. Fees and other collections, we had tax certificates, $36. Hotel motel tax, $6,486.41. Copies and faxes, $72. Voter registration, $88. Interest earnings, $20.08. For a total of, grand total of $163,425.83. Check issued to the county was for $143,346.39. Check to the delinquent attorneys was $20,079.44. Hotel motel tax year to date is $100,050.31. And our collection rate is still a little lower than last year, Then again, last year we had all the, those monies coming in from the,
Assistant programs.
from the homeowners.
Are we still utilizing that program, Ms. Mendoza, or is that closed off already?
No, we haven't, I had gotten, information that for us to continue, you know, that people were able to reapply for the 2022 taxes, and so far, people are still utilizing it, and then what's happening is that a lot of, people are coming in and requesting that we apply, to help them to apply for the water and for the light bill, which is, we're still doing it, but, I mean, our main concern was the taxes. But we just got an email last week that the program will be ending at the end of September.
At the end of this month, but as of right now, it's still available.
Right now, it's still available, anybody that wants to reapply can reapply, and, I know that we've gotten
We've done very well with the program.
over $1 million.
Your office has done really well.
Collected.
Your office has done really well with that program.
Yes, we've done good, yes, and Maribel, and right now she's out on maternity leave, and I guess she's not coming back. So, but we have Brianna Rendon, who is also helping us there with that program. So, but it's going, and we'll continue to be in September.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner, we move on to the action items, and we'll deliberate, consider action. I'd like to jump to 25. I know I see Mr. Tony out there from the AP. I'd like to move him up. I know he's gracious enough to be with us, but item number 25 reads to grant AEP Texas Incorporated to successors and sign a non-exclusive franchise to construct, maintain, and operate lines and appurtenances and appliances for conducting electricity in and over, under, and through the streets, avenues, alleys, and public places of Zapata County. Mr. Arce, good morning to you. So, I don't know, Counselor, you wanna hear this in executive session, or, of course, we've been working on this for a few years, and I'll let Mr. Arce kind of introduce himself and explain.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Members of the Commissioner Court. Tony Arce Jr., External Affairs Manager for AEP Texas, Laredo and Zapata. Yes, as the judge mentioned, we've been working on a franchise for Zapata County pre-COVID, and COVID came along, kind of delayed some things, but credit to the judge, he always kind of kept saying, Tony, where are we with this? You know, we have franchises with municipalities in our service area, and I believe sometime.
It's been several years.
Several years ago, legislation was passed that was unique to Zapata County, giving Zapata municipal powers. At that time, the request was made to see if we could approve a franchise for Zapata County, and we've gone through our regulatory process, and now we have presented a franchise for Zapata County. What it does is basically it verifies and certifies our right to provide infrastructure in county right-of-ways. Again, normally we have it for municipalities. We have actually never done a county franchise, but it is part of state legislation, so we've worked to get this approved. And basically it is, you know, it verifies our ability to have our infrastructure in the county right-of-ways. And in return, there's a franchise payment that the county realizes based on a factor that we used based on the amount of accounts or residents or commercial accounts in Zapata County. And so that franchise would be paid every month. And that's the question, right? Well, how much does, you know?
Well, I think, you know, since we did have those municipal cars, and I saw Mr. Rita, and he stepped out, and of course, he's a consulting engineer who helped us, guide us along the way, and he stepped out for a second, but certainly I think once we did receive municipal, type A municipal powers, I think he mentioned to us that we were capable of maybe seeing some revenues to the county that normally we won't, as a county, we won't be able to receive.
You're absolutely correct, Judge. Yeah, you know, based on the accounts that we have documented for Zapata County, the franchise is paid on actual energy. So the more you grow, the more you get paid.
Right.
And there's a factor every month. But bottom line is it'll be about $300,000 a year. You know, I researched that, on the conservative side, it could vary, but.
And
there's
certainly,
no-
I did, tell Mr. Odze that, we've had conversations over the years, and I called him last week and said, okay, the commissioner's gonna know exactly what we're looking at and how we can utilize those funds, and certainly, and you heard part of our budget hearing, we are in a difficult budget time, so certainly that will help, as we move forward, in accessing some of those revenues, so certainly it's something that, I think will help the county out.
Judge, I can address the contract in more detail, Judge, I'll make a motion that we go into executive session.
Okay, that's fine, we can go into executive session, I just wanted Mr. Arce to give a proposal to the community and public, and Mr. Arce, you're welcome to stay for the approval, or.
Yeah, well, I'll wait till y'all come out, just because I do, once, if you approve it, I do wanna get that document.
Signed. Okay, all right, okay.
Thank you.
All right, sure. So we've got a motion to enter into executive session, to hear item number 25, to grant AEP Texas Incorporated successors and assigns and a non-exclusive franchise to construct, maintain, and operate lines and appurtenances and appliances for conducting electricity in it, under, and through the streets, avenues, alleys, and public places of Zapata County. And also, we have another executive session item number 24, is to address contempt of court, Zapata County Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. And those two items will be heard under section 551.071, consultation with attorney, and 551.072, real property. We are now in executive
We
session.
need a second.
Need a second.
Seconded by Commissioner Solis, to enter executive session. We are now in executive session.
motion, I'll make a motion that we go back into regular session.
Motion by Commissioner
Second
Mendoza
motion.
to return to regular session, seconded by Commissioner Morales. For the record, no action was taken in executive session. Item to be heard is item number 25 is to grant AEP Texas Incorporated and successors and assigns a non-exclusive franchise to construct, maintain, and operate lines and appliances and appliances for conducting electricity in and over, under, and through the streets, avenues, alleys, and public spaces in Zapata County, Texas.
Judge, I'll make a motion that we approve the contract with AEP with a 25-year contract with the stipulation that it will be reviewed every 5 years.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Solis. Mr. Arce, any comments on that, 25-year,
No comment, thank you very much.
On the 25 years?
For the revision.
That worked.
And we just, every 5 years, Mr. Robinson, just we want to look at the rates to make sure we're staying close to what the legislator is
Yeah, the
approving.
25 is fine, perfectly fine. As far as the part of every 5 after that, generally when they expire, before we get to that point, we work with y'all to review.
Right, absolutely.
So perfectly fine.
can we just, write it in, or I know you want to sign it as quickly as possible?
We can try writing that in, I mean.
Would that be okay, Mr. Fiola?
I did review the contract, I just don't remember if it had.
Or you know what?
Well, it had a 50-year term.
Yeah, but it was
Who has
just
the
how.
Yeah, I can email you the template.
Yeah, if you email the template,
With the
I'll give
adjusted-
Roxy the changes that we need to add to it, and then they'll.
We'll sign it and get it to you as soon as.
It's a quick change, I mean, it should take longer than 5
Once
minutes.
it's signed in.
All right, thank you, Mr. Arce.
Right, thank
Got a
you.
motion
Thank you so much, Mr.
by
Thank you.
Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner
Thank you.
Solis. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If we can revisit,
There's still one more executive session.
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, and the other one,
So number 24.
item number 24 is to address contempt of court of Zapata County Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors.
All right, I make a motion to withdraw the contempt of court charges against the Zapata Chamber of Commerce as a result of the substantial satisfaction of the Zapata County Commissioners Court request for production of records.
Got a motion by Commissioner Gatsa. I'll second the
For the
motion.
record, I'll be abstaining.
Mary Jane, I'll be abstaining from the motion as well.
So Commissioner Morales, Mendoza, and Solis abstain. We got a motion and a second, so it passes as presented.
Thank you.
And that would include, Counselor, the fees that had accumulated during that time.
Right, Judge,
We
you
will-
withdraw the charges, you withdraw any type
Of any fines and fees, okay. Moving on to item number 10 is to pay invoice in the amount of $2,800 to Zapata Quick Care Incorporated for electrical work on the Lifeline Mobile Veterans. Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Morales. Of course, this is an item that had come before the court, for the veterans, visiting bus, medical, bus that comes in, so, they're here every Thursday, and, now they have a connection to our electrical outlet, so that's, instead of generator power, so. Got a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, Mr. Gonzalez, you had a question?
Yeah, if we could revisit item number 7, which is the.
Number 7, approval of treasury report?
Yes. So I went to the treasurer's office and.
Yeah, that number shot out at the 5 million, yes.
So there's an item, an account, which is a full cash, which is that newer, operating account. And if you look on the very front page where where I put the square, the $3 million that came from Texpool were deposited into this account that's on the.
Right.
And then from there, they transferred it to this amount, to this account.
Yeah, but what were the expenses?
The expenses, it ends up being $2 million, which are the expenses, the costs for the month. So they pulled out the $3 million from Texpool, put it into the operating account, and from there, those $3 million were removed and put into this.
So it's really a transfer?
Yeah, transfer. So, but that account is not on here, which they'll start putting it on here.
And those $2 million some dollars were what, OLS expenses?
No, the $2 million were expenses, the monthly expenses.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense, so it was just a.
Didn't we have 5 million in expenses?
No, the 5 million, the 3 were, the money's taken from here and put into the, so it'll just move from one account to the other.
Well, I know that's a revenue, but the expenses is 5 million too.
Yeah.
I don't think it's supposed to be showing it as an expense, but it's showing it, the transfer as an expense instead of.
Yeah,
looking
they
at
took,
how it's
oh, you got one?
transferred. It should have basically been canceled when it was
Yes.
transferred, it should be
If-
showing
if
as
you would see
transfer
it, if-
expense.
With this on the report, with this other account, it would show where it's expensed out.
It shows an expense, I mean, it's a
Yes,
revenue.
it's a transfer, yes.
Yeah.
But we still have 5 million worth of expenses.
Yeah, that's what it's showing here on the chart.
Yes, that's what it's showing, but it's,
Because I know we had interest in sinking fund expenses due in August. I just like to
yes,
break down.
I'll look,
it
it was a
operational
quick
stuff.
thing that I tried to do right now, just to
Okay.
explain. But yes, I will look into it.
Item number 11 is to issue a local order for the 2023 constitutional amendment special election on November 7th, 2023.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Morales. Solis?
Second.
Solis, and yet the Governor Abbott has called a special election for, I guess, a constitutional election on November the 7th. And I guess we just have to make sure that we provide notice of the type and date of the election, the location of the early voting places. Have you selected that, Mary Jane?
We're looking at consolidating 1A, 1B into one to save a little bit of money.
Okay, the hours and polls that will be open, the regular dates for early voting, and the dates of any hours on any Saturday or Sunday early voting. So all of that has to be in place, and then the Commissioners Court will be canvassing the election results from this
For
election.
those, yes.
Yes.
For those, yes.
Okay, so we got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 12 is to approve the fiscal year 2024 statewide automated victim notification service maintenance grant contract between the Office of the Attorney General and Zapata County.
Motion to approve.
Renewal, I think our obligation is a little over $5,000.
It'll be 5,762 with 25 cents.
Thank you, Commissioners. We got a motion by Commissioner Mendoza,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 13 is to consider the use of the former project office for the Veteran Service Officer and VA grant staff.
This is currently the office that I'm occupying, I don't use it very often. Do you need more space, Marty?
Yes. We're all separated.
We're sending
Okay.
letters on one side to the.
And the plan is to put 2 employees there in that office, or?
Luis and our boss, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's a full-time
Yeah.
employee now, Mr. Gonzalez, so.
I think we might have some space at the county shop that I can move some of the stuff to into, so, yeah, I'll get with you, I don't have a problem, Judge, working with that.
Got a motion
I'll second the
to
motion.
Yeah, I'll make the
move the
motion.
project Veteran Service Officer and the
See you in about a
VA
week.
into the project office by Commissioner Solis, seconded by, all seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, you work within a week. Yeah, y'all need that extra space. And keep working that program really hard. Y'all bringing in the reimbursements too?
Yes.
Okay, good. Very good. Item number 14 is to approve the use of the community center on August the 10th, 2023 for the TAC RMP cybersecurity workshop. Zapata County was selected to host the workshop, which will include surrounding county.
Motion to approve.
I'll second
Motion
it.
by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Morales. Nelly, tell us what exactly we're gonna be hosting.
Okay, so, we have a, new, representative with TAC that he is strictly doing cybersecurity. So he wants to bring more awareness into the counties. Since we are able to host, other counties, we have a location for it. They want all the surrounding counties who participate with TAC to be, to come to Zapata, and they'll provide everything.
So I understand all employees are invited.
It is for
And
employees
elected
and
officials?
elected officials, whoever is interested in going. There's 2 sessions, it's going to be a morning session and an afternoon
Is
session.
this gonna be at the community center?
At the community center. I already checked with Ms. Laura and the date is available.
So, yeah.
Is this similar to the cybersecurity?
It's a little bit more in
Online?
depth. It's more in depth and it's gonna cover a lot more
That's good.
information.
I think we should, make plans for all of us to attend. And for the record, RMP is acronym for Risk Management Tool. So
Are we gonna have sufficient Wi-Fi services for
I have been talking to Renee, so we're coordinating, make sure we have everything in
like a
place.
temporary for like guests or?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So got a motion for each of the three, second.
Yeah, Mendoza Morales.
Mendoza Morales, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 15 is to approve payment to border pool maintenance and supplies for repairs to the Guadalupe and Lilia Martinez Swimming Complex in the amount of $10,900.
So that's a typo, Judge, it should be $10,760, and I'll make a motion that we approve it.
$10,760, motion by Commissioner Mendoza. We've been, I think this is like the third time we visited. Did we ever get
Yeah.
invoices for it?
Yes, I talked to them, I've been going back and forth, with people at the border, and, they sent me the invoices. I didn't make copies, and give them to them.
What do they look like?
They actually sent,
Are these same ones?
no, 'cause I got them to send these type of invoices.
Yeah, okay.
So there's that,
I think that's, like a summarization.
I can make copies of that for you. And then there's this one. And then there's this one, and then. And here's the final.
So they don't sign off on it?
No, it's not, yeah, they're not signed. I went out there and looked at the pumps. You could tell there were two new ones, and not the pumps, the filters, and then the pump, was refurbished.
Why did they include these initially? Did you make those or?
I have no idea. They emailed me both. They emailed me these first, and then I asked them to email me this type of thing, so they emailed me this.
Because either, normally, when they produce an invoice like that, either the county would accept it with a signature, and, so there's no signatures on the invoices.
Right.
Signature from who, Judge?
Either your supervisor, yourself, that they did the work.
Oh, it's not a problem, I'll sign them right now, the work has been done. We have a hard enough time finding, someone to come and work at the pool for us to begin with, and we've been holding payment for 3 months over this, so.
Yeah,
They
because
need to get paid.
the invoices that were originally submitted were vague and, without any description, that you said pumps. I didn't see any pumps invoices in there. Basically sand.
It's filtered because there's sand filters, and then there's two pumps that were replaced, one for the splash area and then one for the pool area.
No, one pump, two filters,
One pump?
one pump.
Two filters, one pump, plus the labor and materials.
And you had that in your, budget before you approved it, or was that an emergency?
Yeah, well, it's an emergency, we had to open up the pool for the summer,
I'm sorry.
we put a lot of money into that facility to have it sitting there vacant, so.
Well, I think one thing we need to do is move away from doing work and then bring it to court. I think we need to bring it
That
to
goes for
court
others,
first.
because everybody does that.
I think we should bring it to court to see what the funds.
Because this
situation's
invoice
like.
is from early March, so the pool isn't gonna open for 4 months. But anyway, I think the auditor, I think you need to be a little bit more, stringent on how, the process is worked.
Well, I think what we should do is bring it to court before work is done, for everybody. Instead of, the process right now, y'all do the work, and then y'all bring it, and there's no money, and then y'all vote, and it's basically a budget amendment. So what we need to do is.
I agree.
Not do it
I mean,
backwards.
there are emergencies, I would say ACs qualify as an
Right.
emergency, but certainly, I think the process can certainly be improved.
But it still needs to be brought, I think, yeah. Cause then everybody makes
We'll
everything
put
an
it line
emergency.
item.
We need to work on the guidelines and.
Yeah, cause then everything's an emergency, you know, pool's an emergency, AC's an emergency, everything becomes an emergency. So what we need to do is identify the problem, come to me, see if there's money, bring it to court, and then go from there, instead of doing the work and then, you know, then we're stuck with having to pay a bill that.
Is there any warranty on those motors?
I don't know if there's warranties, I can ask, that's something I'm asking, but.
Usually it's a 1-year standard, manufacturer's warranty. Which
But that's my 2 cents. Okay.
Well, I made a
So there's a
motion.
motion, is there a second?
Guys, what's gonna happen if we don't pay?
Well, why wouldn't we pay, Commissioner, the work has been done?
That's what I'm saying. So, the thing is that since March, it's been a long time.
Well, we have vendors that sometimes take a while to submit invoices.
I'm not happy with the process of us doing the work and then, bringing the commissioner's court. That's
I
my
think we're all- I
part.
think
That's
we're all
my
guilty.
part.
We're all guilty of that, Mr. Gonzalez. I think we've all done it at the time or another. So, if we're gonna be fair and we're gonna adopt that process, that's fine, but we're all gonna do it across the board.
So you got money in your part?
No?
This would be a budget amendment, the way all the other ones are budget amendments.
Just like we've approved thousands and thousands of dollars that are not in the budget for the golf course and for other areas. It's the same thing.
The issue I had with this initially was the invoices were completely without any signatures, they were vague. Basically, it seems like somebody created them just to turn them in. Usually, if somebody does work for you, you either sign the ticket. I think there's examples of your supervisor signing the ticket that Board of Pools has done in the past.
Yes.
So.
That's usually
and
when
that
they
was
go-
never turned in, Commissioner. And now we bring invoices that are not signed. You're saying the work was done? I don't know. All I know is
None of them
nobody
are
signed
signed.
up on it.
None of them are signed.
Well, I'm telling you, the work was done. Mr. Gonzalez has gone himself to verify that the work has been done. My crew leader has verified that the work has been
I'd
done.
like to visit with Mr. Board of Pools, bring him down and see what exactly he did for us.
I don't think it's fair to hold an invoice for over 3 months.
There's no signature on it.
I'll sign it right now. What's the big deal?
Well, that's after the fact. They presented something.
And what about all the invoices that you approve throughout the year that are not part of the budget?
I usually bring them to Commissioner's Court.
No, the work
before
is
they-
always done
they check the
before. The
record.
work has already been done. Just come on,
Check
let's
the
not play
record.
that game. Let's not play that game. Your words
There
are,
are
I made an
signed
executive
invoices.
decision, I made an executive decision.
Check all the ones you want, they're all signed by the contractor. And we submitted an invoice that was created, and just brought in, then it went up, a little higher.
Actually, it went down.
There's a motion on the floor, Judge.
I know, there's no second.
Oh, okay. Then it needs to be called.
Motion dies.
Well, then when there's nobody to work on the pool, I don't wanna hear any complaints.
To approve, $7,000 for precinct 3 parks for the installation of playground equipment at City Shores Park.
Judge, I'll make a motion to table this one, and I'll use my new budget, in October.
Motion to table?
Motion to table.
Is there a second? I'll second the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion table. Item number 17 is to adjust salaries with Special Road and Bridge Precinct 4 due to the vacancy in the operator labor slot.
On this one, Judge, nothing changed, the budget is within its parameters. Just adjusting the vacant slot, brought it down, and adjusted other slots to my employees.
So there's no increase?
No, it's
And
gonna
will
stay
this
there, but I
already-
just brought it down. This one was at
Will this
1550.
already included in the proposed budget?
Yes.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Solis.
It was not?
Those changes were not in the proposal.
So, but you wanting for them to
Yes.
consider to be approved in the final
Correct.
version?
Correct.
I'll make a motion. Motion stands.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, is there a second? Second by
Second.
Commissioner Morales. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 18 is to approve or deny individual changes to the proposed fiscal year 2023-2024 Zapata County budget. I think, Commissioner, we've gone over some of these, so we've got a list in front of you. And let me make sure that I don't miss any, just in case. So we've got, beginning with the election expense, the county clerk in the proposed budget, was allocated $40,000 for election expenses. The county clerk requested an additional $10,000. I need a motion to approve a $10,000 increase.
Motion to deny, Judge.
Got a motion denied by Commissioner Solis. Is there a second?
I don't have the picture.
Judge, am I gonna have to come to Commissioner's Court because they have mandates there now requiring that we are open more hours for general and the primary elections. Okay, and longer days and more hours, you know, Saturdays, Sundays.
We did increase it to 40,000.
It's not gonna be enough.
We went from 30 to 40.
It's not gonna be enough. We spent
Well,
more
you
than,
don't- huh?
we spent more than $40,000 on one election alone last year. And we didn't have enough.
I think we can go with 40. I think you'll have enough. So we got a motion denied. Is there a second? I'll second that. We're 900,000 in the hole. I don't know, I know it's a record, I keep repeating it year after year. We don't have the funds, we gotta make do with what we have. So, there got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against? It's denied, motion denied. Item number, district clerk, elected official salary is proposed 42,000. She's requesting an $8,000 increase to 50,000.
Motion to deny.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza to deny, is there a second? I'll second. Seconded by, myself, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion denied. Item county attorney, increase, for general supplies from 4,000 to 6,000, but then he will be reducing repairs and maintenance from 6,000 to 4,000, so there's no added, budget increase.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, second by Commissioners, motion by Commissioner Mendoza, second by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Tax assessor collector, increase equipment maintenance from the proposed, to 25,000.
To 34,125.
So it's an increase of $9,125.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza to approve,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Garza.
Contractual.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, so that will increase. Fire department, so we have a new slot, so let's start with the fire chief. We'll have an assistant fire chief, which is a former DEA slot. So originally it was 39,000, and the requested amount is now 45,000, so that will be a $6,000 increase for an additional slot. But we do have, the DEA, TFO overtime, which is 19,000, which was associated with the DA slot. So in essence, the county will be saving $13,000 by approving this slot, so I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
The assistant fire chief by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
By creating that fire chief position, according to the fire chief, there will be a promotion from within, so there will be an extra additional EMT slot available to fill, but the fire chief is requesting a new slot in addition to that, vacant slot at $12.86 an hour. That'll be an increase to the budget of $42,057. There, motion to approve that?
So this is an additional.
Yeah. So there's a motion, so.
How much does this hinder your department, chief?
Excuse me, Commissioner?
How much does this hinder your department if we don't add this slot to your department?
Well, we really have something going on that we didn't want to mention yet, but our plan is to reopen the San Ignacio Fire Department. Started as a trial basis, so that was gonna help me doing that project that we have planned out.
Yeah, it's a good idea, we just don't have the funds.
So how many vacancies do you have right now?
We have, two vacancies.
Two EMT vacancies?
EMT vacancies?
Paramedics.
And then we'll have this one third, so you'll have 3.
No, we are gonna fill the 2 vacancies for paramedics.
Okay, but then you'll have an extra EMT with a promotion.
Yes, sir.
Of the assistant
So
fire chief?
he's getting 2 slots.
Yeah, let's see where we stand by next week, but I'll make a
Yeah.
motion to deny.
Motion denied by Commissioner Solis. Is there a second? I'll second it. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We, increase all employee salary by an additional $1, which will increase the budget deficit by $58,195.
Motion to deny.
Motion denied by Commissioner Mendoza. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion denied. So we won't need the uniforms. Item number, juvenile probation. So this is, contract services, and this was a typo, commissioners. So basically it was in her budget. So for contract services, she had requested 16.5, and kind of the same as with last year's, but, for some reason it went down to 9,200, so she's requesting an additional $7,300. And then also to correct, we had made a typo on the benefit totals, from the proposed budget of $130,425. In actuality, it's $128,222, so it's a difference of $2,203. So in effect, we'll be, adding $5,097, which is, what her budget had this current year.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza to approve, second by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Adult probation, they're requesting a new line item for repairs and maintenance of $300, and they're reducing, for those $300, they're reducing the food and lubricants by $300 to $700, so there is no, additional expense. So I make a motion to approve the new line item.
I'll second that motion.
Second by Commissioner, Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item environmental, we have a, supervisor salary. This was another typo. It should have been, $27,983. We added an extra $500, so it'll be a reduction of $500.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Solis to approve the, correction, seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Indigent care and pauper, so the proposed budget, or 8%, would, bring in $553,352. We are requesting that, it be reduced to $500,000, which is $53,352. And those funds be distributed for the indigent, state and TERP. So those monies will increase by that amount, which the, indigent, increase in the state, pauper expense will, care and pauper will go up, from the proposed 10,000 to, 40,000, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And then you want on the TERP, the extra 13,000?
Yes, that'll be fine.
Okay, so the TERP will go up, from 5,000 to 18,352, and the state will go up from the proposed 10, to 40,000.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Garza, or Solis, I didn't hear. Solis?
Solis.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Capital outlay, we have a new ambulance. I think we discussed this earlier, Commissioners. We are gonna try to use the grant monies to acquire those ambulances that we need and save the money, from the county.
Yeah.
So, I
Motion
move
to
that.
deny.
Motion
Motion to deny.
to deny on Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The van, for the sheriff's office and the lease payments, Commissioner, those are already in place. These are our last payments, so we'll have to add, those, monies, that are obligated, to cover the last payment on those vehicles.
Motion to approve the van and the lease payment.
Of $35,030, and there are various vehicles, it's not one vehicle, there's probably, I believe there's 4 vehicles that are involved in those, last payments. Is that correct, Nelly, there's 4?
Yeah.
4 vehicles that are involved, that are in the final payment, and I guess we'll be purchasing them outright. So motion by Commissioner Mendoza,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And of course, the Senate Bill 22, the sheriff will be, figuring those,
Judge,
configuring.
we have the JP Precinct 3 rental of 3,000 also.
Okay, the JP rental of $3,000.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner
I got it.
Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Was there one for the county attorney for fuel, 2,000? No?
No,
Okay.
I didn't see it. No, you just
No,
try to
we
move
just
some
have
of the
the,
money around.
right, we
Oh, okay.
renamed a certain portion.
I just had a note, so I thought, okay.
No, but that one has already been approved too.
So the clothing allowance, Judge, for the fire department, we don't need to add those 500?
I don't believe so. Yeah.
And then the only thing pending will be the SB 22.
And we'll get those figures certainly, well, let's vote on it, Commissioner. I think we should vote on whether we move forward with Senate Bill 22. I think it's important.
I make a motion, we proceed with, Senate Bill 22 to help out our first responders.
Okay, so that's a $350,000, and you want it to start to begin in October 1st?
October 1st, it will be reimbursed.
Because the money won't come in until January 1st, but the court has decided there's a motion that those monies, those salary increases begin October 1st with our fiscal year by Commissioner Solis. Seconded by Commissioner Mendoza. And then we'll just have to figure out the breakdown. On the Sheriff Department, the county attorney has submitted your budget already.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so that's ready to go.
So on item 18, Judge, I'll make a motion that we approve the changes we just voted on.
On the Senate Bill 22?
Well, it's just a very vague to approve or deny individual changes.
But they went on individually, so you voted individually.
Right, but there's an actual action item that we need to vote on yet.
Yeah, on the
To approve
proposed
actually
budget.
To implement the changes we just
Oh,
voted
okay.
on.
All right, that's fine. A motion by Commissioner
Second
Mendoza
motion.
to approve the commissioners' votes on all the individual changes as recorded. Seconded by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 19, to approve the annual flu shot clinic at the courthouse rotunda on September 21st, 2023, as offered by CDS Pharmacy.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, second by Commissioner Mendoza. It's a good program. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Judge, and they also, if they do have it available, they will be offering the COVID booster.
Okay.
And this is free of charge, Nelly?
Free of charge, yes.
Very good. Item number
So
20 is to terminate contract with the Indigent Healthcare Solutions. I think Ms. Gonzalez, you've already, you want to make this official. I think you've provided notice for that, the
Yes.
program.
Yes, I did, but, Mr. Robert Baird, he's the president of the software solution, and he wanted it more official, through the.
Right, I was gonna
report.
suggest, Judge, because I reviewed it, we do have to give them notice by September 23rd or something
Yes,
there.
it's come up.
But Judge, since your honor is listed as the point of contact for Zapata County, it would be becoming, for you,
For the
for
court.
it to come from your honor's
Okay.
office.
Okay.
So-
So, have you drafted a letter already?
Yes,
Yes, it's right here.
everybody has one, so
Perfect.
y'all can, I mean, there's
Okay.
one.
Did you look at it?
I have not looked at it, but if it satisfies everything.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve to terminate the contract.
Okay, I got it. Right? Yeah. Okay, got a motion by Commissioner Mendoza?
Okay, all we're gonna
So
do-
we would have 3 payments that are due, thank you, Commissioner.
Yep, actually, I think he's gonna terminate it with the last email that he sent in, it states right here on November the 30th, so we'll
Okay, 2
probably have
months.
some money left from that.
Okay.
That money that we left behind.
Very, very good. Got a motion by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Solis. Garza, to terminate the Indigent Healthcare Solutions contract. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 21 is to allow the proceeds of $12,132 of the recent auction held by CM Auction on behalf of Zapata County Fire Department to be reallocated back to the fire department repairs and maintenance line item 10-543-43430 and general supplies line item 10-543-42610.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Your honor, and commissioners, if I may step out, maybe excused.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge, commissioners.
Thank you, Counselor.
What did we sell, Danny?
It was one Crown Victoria, a army truck, and one ambulance.
One ambulance? Okay. We couldn't fix the ambulance? No.
Not that one. That one's at the very end. So basically, as the new ones come in, the oldest one starts going down and
I
down and
understand,
down, and
yeah.
that one had over close to 500,000
So we can give it to him
miles.
back.
They needed a lot of repairs, so it wasn't cost effective.
Very well, okay. Item number 22 is to review and approve replat of 102 and block 103, block 21 Lincoln Avenue into lot 102A, 102B, and 103A, block 21. Gonzalez, good morning.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioner.
Good morning, Mr. Gonzalez.
I guess we have approved the preliminary replat, so.
Yes, we had approved the preliminary, plat, replat for, that. But we made a little change from the preliminary, that we found, the house was encroaching on between 102 and 103.
Okay.
So that change is reflected on this. Good morning, Judge Commissioners. On lots 102, 103 on Lincoln Avenue in San Ignacio, we're going from what's on your left-hand side, which that's the way there currently exists, to what's on your right-hand side. And there's two homes and a covered area within those properties. So then what we divided is the two homes so that they could be within their own lots. We looked at the size of the lots, and as I had presented at the previous Commissioner Court meeting, the lot sizes are similar or maybe a little bit bigger than our town site lots. So that's not, I guess, a big concern of ours in terms of the lots being too small for making them livable spaces. We also looked at the property or the lot, the home that's being sold, and to see if it was within the historical district. And we checked with the owner, and it was not. His parents had made improvements when they were registering the homes, and theirs did not qualify because of the improvements that they had already made to the home. So that was fine. And then we moved the lot line between lot 102 and 103 so that the home that's right adjacent to 102B was not over that lot line. It used to be.
So, yeah, so it is a strange looking lot now, is it?
Yeah.
It is a strange looking lot. It has
I mean, it's not
53 feet wide, and it's 168 foot in length. You know, if you're looking from Lincoln,
Yeah.
so you're looking at 53 by 168, which is, it's longer.
And that might interest Mr. Uribe, who's our consultant. So this is basically, Mr. Uribe, what we're considering is a stone home in San Ignacio, that there's an interested party that has made an agreement with the owner to split up those lots, and the court is considering whether we should move forward in replatting to make this sale possible. Any thoughts from?
Well, if I could see exactly where they are.
Okay.
You have a copy.
I think, did Mr. Gonzalez say that they are within the historical district?
No.
They are not.
No, I did not. Yeah, because that one, this home is the one that's being acquired. Right now, there's nothing going on that home. The new buyer wants to just make it livable and start having it, using it, right? This home is a newer home. This one already had some improvements on it. It's not in the historical district.
Well, is it a stone home?
It is a stone home. And they want to keep it as a stone home. But they just wanted to make some improvements.
This is really within Commissioner Morales's
purview,
jurisdiction. And I would not want to in any way,
I think, no, and Mr. Rosales did mention the owners, and they do have ties to that area, to San Ignacio.
The lady that's buying it lived across the street. She lived right here. She grew up here, and then she wants to buy that one because that's where she grew up. So her parents was here, and this is
I have a general attitude about San Ignacio and the need to continue to preserve the historical district as originally defined in federal documents now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think it's a great tourist attraction. I think it's a great educational tool to teach the children about the importance of the colonialism that took place here and the history of this whole area. And I don't like seeing anything that in any way destroys or that doesn't add to,
Yeah.
that it's, so.
I think in this particular case, I think, restoring or keeping the history of this home, I think will be a very,
I think
a great possibility. They're gonna
Yeah,
continue.
right now it's an abandoned house.
Yes.
And it's getting deteriorated because there's no one living in it. So they wanna make it livable, and they like the aesthetics because they grew up there.
Right.
So they have the same personal feeling of the community, so they should like to keep it, and so I
Well,
think.
okay, let me go further. In other communities where you have historical structures, there is a process. And, well, this may not be within the district. It may be an historical structure that was built.
Well, it's from the same era.
Yeah, okay, if it was built in the 19th century, I think it's worthy of note and worthy of preservation. And in other communities in which there are historical structures, there's a process for determining whether the additions that are recommended for the building itself are supplemental and complementary to the original building itself, or whether they detract from the historical aspect.
Yeah,
Okay? We do not have a process.
No.
I don't think we need the bureaucracy. I don't support bureaucracy, but there ought to be at least an informal process through the Zapata County Historical Office to determine, and let them at least have some input. I don't want to in any way interfere with free trade, the right of individuals to do what they want to do with their own property.
Sure.
On the other hand, I think we all have a community interest in something like this, Mr. Gonzalez.
And we've been fortunate that the folks in San Ignacio have really taken care of those homes.
Right, I see that my cousin Beto Gutierrez, who grew up with Tio Trinidad, has done a great deal of work on, and following the philosophy of less is better sometimes, less is more. When I started restoring the property on Grant and Hidalgo, I literally had to rip apart pieces of the house that had been added on after 1930, because they detracted from the beauty of the L-shaped building.
Yeah.
That incorporated a semi-patio. And, you know, it's sometimes if people think in terms of, well, what do I do to preserve what I have and then make it livable? Well, in the past, we didn't have indoor plumbing. We didn't have electricity.
Right.
We introduced electricity in the 50s, and we didn't need indoor plumbing because we had a cistern provided water for the whole house. Well, when I preserved the house, we spent a considerable amount of money in trying to make it preservation worthy, so that it would receive an historical marker from Texas Historical Commission. I made sure that the indoor plumbing didn't show. And now we have indoor plumbing in Mama Pepita's house. So.
That's good.
I mean, I think there's ways to do it that, you know, you get a simple contractor comes and says, I want to do a great job on this property, and they use cement. One of the things you can't do with these stone houses is cover them with cement, because the stone is softer. It's mostly sandstone or limestone. It's softer. You put cement on top of it, it erodes from inside, so that you keep the facade of the cement until the stone underneath falls off. So we've got to be very careful about how we preserve these historical structures, whether they're within or outside of the historical district. Okay?
I think this is a good property. You know, I don't have any problems moving forward with it. Yeah.
So, I think the intentions are from the buyers and from the sellers is that, you know, that they'd like to preserve it as best as they can and make it something that when we do go as a community to go do the tours of homes and things like that, that it's something that adds to the community and not detract from it. And I think that being that it has personal significance to the buyer because they grew up catty corner to that property. That's the main interest of, they wouldn't be buying in San Ignacio to fix it, you know, if it wasn't.
Didn't want to preserve it.
So,
Motion by Commissioner Morales to approve, the replat, seconded by Commissioner Mendoza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do we need to sign it today?
Yes, I have it, well, I'll put it there for everybody to sign. Thank you.
I don't know if you have another item, sir, to approve award for the Miraflores Park improvements contract, that's.
Judge and Commissioners, on this project, we put it out for bids, and we put it out for bids at the local newspaper, it advertised, it ran for 3 weeks. We asked the judge if we can extend an additional week so we can get more bidders. We personally sent it via email to about between 14 to 18 bidders. We sent it to all the bidders that bid here locally on our jail improvements. We sent it to all the bidders that bid here locally on our paving, Texas paving projects, so that we got those 2 pools of bidders to look at it. And at the end, when it was time for bid, only 2 bidders made it to the middle. You know, I can't make them bid, I can invite them and try to encourage them to put in a bid. The bids came in from Muflon, and they came in from Blue Bonnet Custom Builders. They were both very, very good bids, very close to each other in terms of pricing. Muflon came in at $149,850 with 13 cents. And Blue Bonnet Custom Builders came in at $163,581 with 16 cents. So it's about a $14,000 difference, more or less, between one and the other. Our recommendation is to award to Muflon on the $149,850 with 13 cents. We did remove one of the canopies. We had 3 of the smaller canopies and then the big one. We kept the big one and we kept 2 small ones. We removed one of the smaller ones to try to keep it within budget. Our budget was like $150, and so we really wanted to try to keep it. So we made some adjustments before we made some addendums before the bids came out, so to try to keep it within there. We did put in for seed on the park, not block sod, but just, Bermuda seed. And we did put in a connection so that we can run a hose with a sprinkler so that we can water it and, try to maintain it, while then we can then look to see if we have the funds to later on run a sprinkler system.
I think so, yeah.
Sprinkler system would have added, I think, a significant cost, and so we did put it just so that we have the connections to run it with hose and sprinklers.
That's also something we can do in-house, because we've actually done our own sprinkler systems at Flores Park, so.
Judge, I make a motion to go with the recommendation and award Miraflores Park improvement contract to Mofan Services.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Mendoza. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. President.
I guess on the items that they're including is the large canopies, it's a 30 by 30 canopy with 2 10 by 10. It has a 4-foot high perimeter chain link fence. It has the water improvements so that we can connect to the main water line and then bring the extensions over. It has for some environmental improvements for silt fencing, concrete washout pit stabilization for trucks coming in and out. And then it has a walking trail.
Yeah.
5-foot wide asphalt walking trail, similar to what we have on the other part. So it'll be a nice improvement to the area.
And that was presented to all the bidders, correct?
Yeah, everything was, the plans and all.
Yeah, scope of work and everything.
Scope of work. Everybody got the same exact. Thank you.
Some line item transfers, Commissioners.
Motion to
Motion to approve as presented.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza to approve consent items as presented, item number 26, 27, 28, 29. Seconded by Commissioner Raza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We've got a proclamation declaring September 23rd Hunger Action Month in Zapata County.
Motion to approve proclamation.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza to approve proclamations, seconded by Commissioner Solis.
It's here.
Yeah, it's the second to last.
And this one, this one we did the kind of.
Oh,
we needed for the next one.
You wanna read it, Commissioner?
No, pues, I mean, you can, because you're like.
You go ahead and sign
Judge,
it.
they are present
Judge.
if you want to
They're
recognize.
present.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, can you please step forward and save me? I'm out of breath. You can read the do you have the proclamation to read? You don't mind reading it for the court?
Sure, no problem.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being here with us.
No, thank you for inviting me.
Yes, read it so it's
Sorry we made you wait to the very end.
It's all good. Getting hungry is giving you hunger. Well, thank you all so much for having us this morning.
Your name for the record,
My
ma'am?
name is Angie Osterman. I'm the Director of Development and Marketing for the South Texas Food Bank.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you for
here.
being with us.
You all are wonderful for all the communities in South Texas, especially ours. We appreciate all the food products that you bring into our community, so thank you for all the work you do.
It's our pleasure. We serve about 18,000 people here in the county, the great majority being senior citizens. So it's something that's very dear to our heart to come and serve you all. And as always, if there's anything more that we can do for you guys, please let us know. You know,
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I guess I'll just proceed and read the proclamation. It says, whereas hunger and poverty are issues of vital concern in Texas, where 13% of people face hunger in Texas, and 1 in every 3 children do not know where their next meal will come from. And whereas everyone needs nutritious food to thrive in every community in America, people are working hard to provide for themselves and their families. Yet in 2021, 34 million people, 1 in 10, including 9 million children, 1 in 8, face food insecurity in the U.S. Whereas the County of Zapata, Texas is committed to taking steps to combat hunger in every part of our community and to provide additional resources that those in Zapata County need. And whereas the County of Zapata, Texas is committed to working with the South Texas Food Bank, a member of Feeding America, nationwide network of food banks, in educating people about the role and importance of food banks in addressing hunger and raising awareness of the need to devote more resources and attention to hunger issues. And whereas thousands of individuals in Zapata County rely on food provided by the members of the South Texas Food Bank annually, and whereas the members of Feeding America distributed more than 19,199,843 meals in 2022 through its network of food pantries, soup kitchens, shelters, and other community organizations. And whereas the month of September has been designated Hunger Action Month in order to bring attention to food insecurity in our communities and to enlist the public in the movement to end hunger by taking action, including volunteer shifts, social media shares, and donations to ensure every community and everyone in it has the food they need to thrive. And whereas food banks across the country, including the members of Feeding America, will host events throughout the month of September to bring awareness and help end hunger in the local community. Now, therefore, and that's you, Judge, Joe Rathmill, do hereby recognize September 2023 as Hunger Action Month in our Zapata County, Texas, and call this observance to attention of our citizens.
Thank you so much, Angie, for helping me with that.
No problem, thank you. And
Thank you. We'll
also-
go ahead and sign it for
Yes,
you.
and I also want to recognize
Yes. Thank you, sir.
our local pantries, Helping Hands and Good Shepherd, and also Ms. Garza, who is one of the people that, the persons that volunteer along with the group, and members of the National Guard as well, they help us, distribute food on a monthly basis. So we definitely couldn't do it without our community partners, and we couldn't do it without the volunteers. They're essential to what we do, and we couldn't do it without you guys.
Thank you, and
So
we're
thank you all so
willing to
much.
help you in any aspect we can, so.
Thank you.
Yes, I know Ms. Garza really helps out, and everybody here, that we've got excellent employees that help out, so thank you so much.
No, thank you so much, thank you, Judge, thank you.
Thank you, Angie.
Judge, motion to adjourn.
Item number,
Do you need the proclamation to take with you?
Yes, that would be great.
and the election.
Mary Jane, do you want a copy of this, the proclamation?
Yeah, I could use one, yeah, absolutely.
So, can we get a copy and then give it the original?
Yes.
They want a picture.
Monica, we'll get you the original, ma'am.
Okay, sure, no problem.
They want a picture.
Oh, you want a picture? Yes?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
We need a second to adjourn, yeah, there's no motion. You want to do the second to adjourn?
Bueno,
Yeah,
we
we can
want to
stand
adjourn
by.
until we take a picture.
Yeah, we can stand by for the picture.
Yes, right. You're in the Senate. Your staff, are in the Senate.
Which one do you need? Okay, so she can keep a copy? Okay, so did she steal the copy? I have your copy.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
thank you
much.
so much.
No,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your help.
I got a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Solis, so we are now adjourned. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.